Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of What's Happening. I'm George Binns, and I'm here with our guest tonight, Janice Naimy from the Y. But before we start, Elliot Margolis, our other host, has got a top of the page.
Thank you, George. You know, we're in the election season right now, and people want to know, why is Donald Trump doing so well? Why is Bernie Sanders doing so well? You know, they're not the establishment candidate. They say what's on their mind, and furthermore, they do what they say. And people like that. It seems to me that the Republican candidates, the other ones, aren't smart enough to figure it out, that, you know, people want to hear the truth, and they want to not only hear the truth, but see that they can put it into action. No more of this baloney, I feel this, but nothing happens. And Bernie Sanders is the same way. He's an avowed socialist. He tells you he's a socialist. He has his socialist ideas. People like honesty. And perhaps politicians in general just ought to take a lesson from this. It shouldn't be a lifetime job, because you're going to be honest. You're going to do what needs to be done. That's why Donald Trump is doing so well, and that's why he's going to be the Republican nominee. George?
Well, Janice, you're the newest Healthy Living Director at the Y. This is a slight change in title from what Andrew Walker had, your predecessor, or Aaron, who was Andrew's predecessor. So what's the difference? What's happening different at the Y?
Well, my scope is a little more than just taking care of the health and wellness floor. I actually take care of our chronic disease prevention programs. The YMCA is actually heavily focusing on chronic disease. So our diabetes prevention program, the Live Strong at the YMCA, Enhanced Fitness, Parkinson's. So these are things that we know that we can help people make their lives better, so that's where our concentration is.
So what kind of a background do you have that fits in with this kind of a...
I'm actually a master personal trainer, so that's 500 hours of work to accomplish my degree. So I had, and I have a business, an associate's in business.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm a diabetic. What are you going to do for me there?
Actually, you would be, we don't have a program strictly just for people who are diabetic. The program is for prevention. So actually, you could come in and we could set you up with one of our trainers and have you work out, and you actually have a schedule an appointment with our on-staff nutritionist. So we have a registered dietitian that could help you with your diet.
Okay.
Looking through the webpage for the North Shore Y, they list a whole bunch of different locations. And as I understand it, you join one, you can participate in all the rest of them.
Yes.
How far does your involvement go? Do you work with other locations like Ipswich or Gloucester, or are you strictly the...
Well, right now I'm strictly Beverly, and I'm enhancing the diabetes prevention program, but my focus is to expand that out to all of our Ys, so that we can have classes in each of those communities, so that somebody from Ipswich doesn't have to come all the way down to Beverly. We'll have those classes there.
What does one of these classes consist of?
It's actually a year-long program. So this is an evidence-based diabetes prevention program. It's a year-long program that was developed with the National Health Institute and in the CDC. So it's a year-long program. They meet once a week for 16 weeks for those sessions, and then we move into bi-monthly sessions, and then we move into once-a-month sessions. And it's a behavioral modification class. So it's not just I'm giving you this diet to follow and an exercise plan to follow. It's actually walks you through what are those triggers in your life. What makes you eat the bad food? Did you have a bad day? How do you handle your stress? It's all of those things, and we kind of pull them apart and look at them. We pull apart the diet, and we look at fat grams. How much fat are you eating in your diet? How much exercise are you getting? And so we kind of take those steps and move them along for the year.
The buzzword used to be a couple of years ago, glycemic load. Is that still in vogue, or are they
Well, that is if you are a diabetic, but this
Okay.
is a prevention. So you don't actually have diabetes before before you join the program.
Okay.
So even though it's called diabetes prevention, we don't want you to have diabetes to be eligible for the class.
Yeah.
So we actually look at the fat grams in your diet,
Okay.
and that's what we focus on.
How do you pick somebody for this kind of a program?
Actually, they usually get referred from their physician.
Oh, okay.
We like 50% of the people in our program to have a lab value. So if they meet that
Say that again, please.
a lab value, your AC1, usually from your doctor, it will give you an AC1 value and let you know what your glucose levels are in your blood. And so that
This is the blood sugar level.
your blood
Oh,
sugar
right,
level,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
average blood sugar for, an extended period of time.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you we have that lab value under the diabetes range, then you can be eligible for the program. You're also eligible for the program if you meet certain criteria. We have a short quiz that we give people if they've over 65 and don't exercise, or between the ages of 45 and 65 and only exercise maybe 1 day a week. If it's a female and she had gestational diabetes, and if they have a BMI over 25 or higher. So there's certain criteria that they have to meet to be eligible for the class.
Is this class part of your membership I was going to say the chamber, I'm used to Chamber of Commerce, but we're really talking the Y now,
The
right?
It's the Y,
YMCA,
yes.
Okay,
yes.
so is it part of your membership or is there an extra fee for being in this class?
No, this is an extra fee class. This class, because it's a year-long program, it's actually a $429 class. However, we offer it to the community for $199, and the YMCA, as you know, is a nonprofit, so we actually fundraise on the back end to make up that difference.
Do you get involved in the fundraising?
I do. I have I have my list that I call and
Okay.
reach out to, but I'm fairly new to the community, so I'll be building that as I move along.
Where were you located before this?
I was actually in Salem, Oregon.
That's like big change.
Yeah. I grew up here in Stoughton, and it was kind of time to come home and spend time with my family and take care of my parents. So we made the change.
Did you do similar type work out there?
I did, actually. Out there, I was the Senior Director of Health Innovation, so I ran a lot of health and wellness programs, not just for the wellness center, but in all aspects of everything that we did. So we made sure our vending machines were healthy, our camp programs were healthy, we limited fruit juice and had healthy snacks for our after-school care.
Was this part of the Y program out there too?
Yes.
So you're part of a national organization. in other
Yes.
words. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's you talk about the healthy food and everything else, and there's Michelle Obama has this healthy food deal that
Let's
she's
Move.
trying to do in the schools. The kids don't like it. Now, what do you do when people just don't like it? If they're not going to eat it, it's not healthy.
Yeah, a lot of times, with kids, sometimes it's just try it. Take a bite. Take one bite and see how it is. In 6 months from now, they may like it. And it's trying different foods. You have to continually try different things to see what they'll like. And it's kind of an experiment. I mean, did you like all your vegetables when you were little?
Can't answer the question. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, you know what I mean?
As an example, I didn't like broccoli. Well, now broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables.
Yeah.
So I think it's just all about you've got to keep trying, and you've got to keep trying with the kids. If you just say, oh, they don't like it, and you're like, okay, and you never try it again, you'll never know. As your taste buds evolve, you like different things.
Okay.
The family programs you get into, how do they get the family together? I notice that you have birthday parties and a few other things like that. But what other kind of family programs does the Y offer?
Well, we have actually had a focus of including the kids onto the fitness floor. So if they're 8 and older, they're allowed on the fitness floor and they're allowed to do cardio. If they're between 10 and 11, I'm going to say 10 and 12, that we allow them to do certain machines, and then we allow them from the 13 to 14, they're allowed to do more cardio, and then at 15 they're allowed to do some free weights. So we kind of take them through an orientation with one of our staff members, and we make sure that they can do it safe so they can be involved. A lot of parents want to come in and work out, but their kids are too old to really be in the child care and the drop-off center, and they don't really want to hang out with the little kids, and so they should be able to come up and work out. So we've kind of allowed that to happen. We have a lot of programs, gymnastics and cheer, and there's youth groups, and we have a really big after-school care program, and we really try to include all ages and be a family organization.
You mentioned that there's a limit on when the age limit on when the kids can get into free weights. What's behind that?
A lot of times sometimes they don't have the muscular development to be able to handle the free weights. We want to make sure that they're mature enough to be able to lift and lift properly and not get injured. They're still growing. There's no evidence that it can hurt, but you want to make sure that they're safe. And kids are always like, oh yeah, I can lift this 35-pound weight, and actually they can't. So we want to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
I assume there's a lot of supervision in the weight rooms and stuff to make sure that there's no fooling around and
Exactly.
Yeah. Because weights can hurt.
Yeah, they can hurt. The kids can get injured. If they're not big enough to fit on some of the machines, the parent may put them on a machine and think, oh, this is great. But if they don't properly fit in the machine, they can actually get injured. So we want to make sure, that's our first thing, is safety, is to make sure that they're safe to do that. And we do have supervision on the floor to make sure that they aren't fooling around or, just goof it off up there, because that makes the other members upset. And we're trying to, we have a large scale, and you're trying to make everyone happy. So we work really hard to make sure that happens.
Now, I know you've got the pool there. I assume you give swimming lessons to
Absolutely.
infants, and you have certain programs. What other types of programs do you have for mothers and kids?
Well, there's the kids gymnastics. I think there's a tumble class, and then of course there's the swim lessons. I know that there's all
sports. How old do you have to be for a
sports.
swim lesson?
I believe I think they take them at 6 months for their first class, and then they can go all the way up to and get onto the swim team. So we and then we have. I don't deal with a lot with the children's side. So we have got the teen center, and there's all sorts of kids activity. There's cheer that we just added, or expanded, I should say, and there's sports. There's all sorts of sports. On Saturday, you can't get in the gym because of all the basketball, and then there's the soccer and then we'll get into camp season too. So there's lots of activities for the kids to do. There's never a dull moment at the Y.
No, I can tell you when I drive by Essex Street, driving by the Y, there's cars going in and out all the time.
Yeah.
So
Try it on
it's
when
a
they're having
busy
a swim
place.
meet. You can't park within 5 miles of the place.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess the city of Y is fortunate that down the street there are 2 daycare centers, Montessori school, and they're generous enough to allow parking there. But
In the Harry Ball Field.
that's a bit of a hike. to
Yeah,
get.
but don't they have shuttles or something? for that?
Sometimes we do run shuttles when
Yeah.
it's a larger
Yeah.
meet. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the Y does a good job with that.
The one that surprised me is when they had to hire a business manager for the swim team, because there are so many activities. The Y Sharks they're all over the place. It's a big program. And
It's a really big program. It's probably a bigger program than I've worked with at otherwise. So this is the biggest one I've seen.
Well, what do you do for the big kids?
The big kids like you. Well, there's all sorts of workout programs. We have. Please don't be offended. We have senior classes. We have older adult classes that people can get involved in.
Some kids are bigger than others.
Okay. So we have a lot of classes to help them. We are adding on we're looking at the enhanced fitness class, which is actually a class that will focus on balance and people with arthritis. So that will help them be able to exercise in a safe manner. Parkinson's, we're looking to get some training in that and add that on the staff. So if somebody suffers from Parkinson's or MS, they can actually come to the Y and work out in a safe environment and know that they're not going to get injured. And this can actually help them.
When you say somebody on staff, you're talking about the personal trainers?
Our
or-
personal trainers, yeah. Our certified group exercise or certified personal trainers will help.
What's their
teaching
relationship with the Y? Are they employees of the Y? Or
They're employees of the Y, yes.
they are,
Yeah.
okay.
And you have physical therapy there also, don't you?
Yes, we do. Bay State has a location inside of our Y. And they have their patients and they work them out on our floor. It's a great relationship.
Yeah.
One of the really great things about the Bay State is they got a little sign up there that if you're injured, come in and we'll give you a free evaluation.
Yeah.
And
They're really great about that.
Brett, who runs it, Brett Farrell, he is extremely good and very generous with his time. So that's a good operation. They've got a really good crew in there.
Yeah, they're excellent.
Yeah.
They always take time out for our members.
Yeah. So that worked. And I used to be sitting on the rowing machine watching one or two people go in there. Now it's like a steady stream. That business has done extremely well, and the Y has benefited from it, I think.
Well, now let me ask you this. There's a lot of different workout places. Workout World, Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, you know them all. Why should somebody belong to the Y instead of those other places?
Because we're a lot more than just a gym. We are a nonprofit, so we give back to our community. So there's a lot of things that are included in our membership. We never turn anybody away for their inability to pay. So if somebody says, I can't afford to come, we have them fill out the financial aid and they receive financial aid that takes care of their membership or a portion of their membership. Takes care of a portion of their child care or activities that they want to sign their kids up, whether it's basketball or swim lessons or camp or after school programs. They get that relief, that financial aid that really can help a single parent or maybe somebody's lost their job and needs assistance for a while. So it's more than just a gym like those other places. We offer a lot more.
Okay, that's fair. People have to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things on the list is the Live Strong program.
Yes.
And the implication is was it a nationwide Y program?
Yes, it is. It's
What-
affiliated with the Live Strong, the nonprofit Live Strong, and so we offer Live Strong at the YMCA, and it's an exercise program for people who are recovering from cancer, any kind of cancer. It doesn't we don't single anything out, so that they can come in and work out. It's 12 weeks, twice a week, and they work out with trainers, and they talk about that. They talk about their journey through cancer and their chemo and what that's like, and that how weak they've become, or what that journey is like, and it becomes kind of a support group. They really make connections in that group, and they continue those connections after the class has stopped. It's really pretty powerful, the connection that they have, and how thankful they are that the Y will offer it to them, and it's free, and they don't need to be members to come for the program either.
Do you have any other programs like that are free and you don't have to be members?
Now, we just talked about all the advantages of being a member,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now you want to know the advantages
Well,
of...
again, you're talking about what you give back to the community.
Yeah.
This is a good example of how
Absolutely.
you're supporting the community in other areas. What else is there?
Well, there's
Rather-
programs that the Y is involved in that may not necessarily relate directly to membership. I also serve on the MOPSI grant for the Beverly abuse opioid problem that we are kind of dealing with in our community. So we come together as a group. The Y will go to those collaboratives and work with the community and say, how can we help? We're a large association. We're in a lot of areas that we can help our community. You have these people that come out of rehab that may not have any place to go, and maybe they need a membership. Maybe they need something to do. Maybe they need that exercise to help them get back on track. Maybe they need childcare for them to go back to school or to go back to work. So those are the things that we kind of get involved in that aren't necessarily involved in your membership, but they're in the community. So we want to make sure that we're a part of those.
How would somebody get involved in one of those programs? Where would they go in the city? Who do they talk to?
Well, there's a lot. There's actually the school. Beverly High School is involved in it. The YMCA, obviously. The Beverly Police Department. There's the school nurse, the counselors, the Beverly Health Department. So they could reach out to a couple people, and they could contact me, and I can get them in touch with people, or just talk to them about the program and what we're doing in the community.
So this is not just with the drug prevention, it's other areas also?
Well, we all work together. When you work on those grants, you come together as a community, and a lot of times those funded grants like that want the communities to come together, because it's not going to take just one organization to make a difference. It takes many.
Who's funding these grants?
That's a tough question.
Okay.
I just joined, so I would have to say it's probably a federally funded grant.
Okay.
Off the top of my
Do
head.
people who are addicted to any kind of drugs ever come to the Y and say, I need help?
I can't speak for this Y that they've said that they've come in and said they've needed help. I have dealt with people at my other Ys that have said they've needed help, and then we've helped them in the ways that we could. Some of our Ys are, Ys actually started out being, kind of a hostel, so we had places to sleep and things like that.
That was my next
So
question, too.
there was places like that people could go to. They could get a meal. They could get a shower. They could. So we kind of sometimes open our doors that way. So I can't speak for the Beverly Y if that's happened here. Again, I haven't been here that long, but in other Ys I know that's happened, and they reach out to them and help them in any way they can.
Yeah, they still have the rooms down at the Y downtown,
They do.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Oh, at
questions.
Cabot.
Cabot Street, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's still an active facility down there. Do you get involved with the Sterling Center up on the hill, the teenage one?
Not
that a
too
separate
much.
group?
It's part of us. I
Yeah.
don't work out of that facility.
It's not in your shop?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I kind
No.
of get my hands full with health and wellness.
What towns are actually associated with the Beverly Y? I know Gloucester is. But-
Well, they're actually they have their own facility up there, so
Right.
they're the Gloucester Y. So you're talking North Shore YMCA. So that association involves involves Beverly, Salem, the Lynch Van Arteloo, Ipswich, Gloucester, Haverhill, and Plastow, New Hampshire.
Not Peabody.
No,
Okay.
nope.
Yeah, Peabody, Danvers, they're all different. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all the different associations.
Okay.
It seems odd that passed out New Hampshire, but not Peabody, but anyway.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
they have a new Y in Marblehead also.
Yeah, that's the one you,
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
is that part of the association?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so if people are, they've had cancer, what doesn't matter what kind, they can come in and say, I need help, and that's the kind of service that you provide.
Yeah, they can. This is the Live Strong at the YMCA is actually an exercise program, so that they do join that to gain their strength back, maybe their mobility, maybe they can't, really walk very well or lift their arms, depending on their cancer, so that we really kind of work them to make sure that they can move and safely and slowly, effectively to regain their strength and their ability back. So.
And do you do
For
like
mobility.
intramural basketball with the kids? Like you've got basketball programs in the Beverly Y. Do you do any intramural stuff, say with Gloucester or Ipswich or any of these others?
They
You
all
have
run.
little leagues.
They
and-
all run their own sports programs. Yes.
So the Sharks is the only real traveling team that's,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
something. And the others, it's just all within the existing,
Beverly
Wow.
has enough teams that they can play each other and rotate through, and Gloucester and Ipswich. So that's how that's set up.
Okay. Years ago, I was on the board of directors in Gloucester of the Y. I was actually treasurer.
Oh, okay.
That goes back a lot of years. When they didn't have a lot of money.
Yes.
How difficult is it now, like you are a nonprofit, it takes a lot of money to run the Y. You're constantly doing fundraisers, or what kind of fundraisers do you do? And I mean, as a citizen of Beverly, I don't see much going on in terms of fundraising for the Y. Is it just about members of the Y, you get money from them, or what kind of things do you do for fundraising that the community can get involved in?
Well, there's a lot of things that right now we're wrapping up our annual campaign for the 2015. So we right now are in asking staff first. That's kind of one of our first steps. We go to our staff and ask them to help support the YMCA, and then we have contacts out in the community that we reach out to, and we ask for donations, and then a lot of it, again, I'm fairly new to the community, so I don't have a lot of people to reach out to, but people in the Y do reach out and have those contacts and build those relationships. And we have some large donations, we have small donations. No donation is too small for us. We do a couple of fundraisers. Our road races actually help raise some money and pay for the road races. Those money sends kids to camp and swim lessons. We do the gala once a year. That is our large fundraiser for the entire association. So each association will do small campaigns within, and then we do sometimes a larger fundraisers.
Talk for a minute. I know you came in September, so you may not have a lot of knowledge on this, but talk, if you can, a little bit about the summer camps for kids.
Summer camps are huge at the Y. Coming on to this association, I was really impressed that at the Lynch Van Arloo, they actually have Children's Island. And the kids actually get on a boat and they go out to the island and they have camp all day and then they come back. I think that's pretty great. At my last Y, we had a residence camp, so the kids stayed in cabins for weeks to attend camp, and we also had a day camp that they go to. Here we have the same thing. We have day camps, and the kids, they go on hikes, they go swimming, swim lessons, it's arts and crafts, it's just fun from the time they get dropped off to the time they get picked up.
I'll tell you, George, I've learned a lot today, because the Y has changed a lot since I was involved in a previous life. And when I say I'm talking, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think that you've enlightened a lot of people about what's going on at the Y. You seem real excited about it, which is what I like. See,
I do. I enjoy it.
You can tell if you like your job, then you know that it's going well, and I can appreciate that. And
thank you.
Now, I learned a lot about the Y today, because I haven't been involved in the Y in a while, but it sounds like a great place for kids, and
yes,
a great place for people like me, I guess.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Educating the public, and hopefully this will be, maybe you'll get more members out of this.
Yes, hopefully.
And I learned a lot. I think it's great that you do things with people who are ill, and too bad I didn't know about it before I was diabetic, huh?
Yeah.
Could have gone to that class.
That's right.
But that's it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you've learned a lot about the Beverly Y and all the surrounding communities. And join up, get healthy. That's what we all need to do. Thanks for watching.